someone very close to the palace who said to me, Tories get in trouble for sex scandals and Labour get in trouble for money scandals, and Andrew seems to have got in trouble for both. And I think that's what we're seeing here.
Documents revealed last Monday appear to show that Peter Mandelson was sending documents he received in his role as Gordon Brown's business secretary straight to Jeffrey Epstein. You remember us breaking that on this programme. Mandelson, of course, denies wrongdoing. Now, a week later, files have been found that appear to show that Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor forwarded documents he received in his role as UK trade envoy straight to Jeffrey Epstein. He has denied wrongdoing in the past, of course, Andrew. It's just another embarrassment for the royal family just as Prince William arrives in Saudi Arabia for a tricky foreign trip. Kate Mansey is the Times Royal editor and co-host of the Times Royal podcast covering the Saudi trip and joins us live now from the British Embassy. Kate, morning to you.
Good morning.
Before we get to what William's up to over there, the idea of Andrew passing on documents, it's another story the royal family will not want to be reading this morning.
That's right. There's heaps further embarrassment on the palace. Heaps further embarrassment on the government, because as you remember, he was a UK trade envoy in that official role that he had for a decade. And during that time, we now know from the Epstein files that he was sending confidential papers to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, these include all sorts of documents that Epstein shouldn't have been privy to, including confidential information about business deals in Helmand province in Afghanistan and very sensitive data and information. So it's more and more is coming out now about the way in which Andrew was using his role for other means. And
it was also he was just so desperate for Epstein's favour, wasn't that the other thing that comes out in this thing? He clearly wanted women from him. That's certainly the allegation. But he was just desperate for Epstein's favour.
That's right. There was someone very close to the palace who said to me, Tories get in trouble for sex scandals and Labour get in trouble for money scandals, and Andrew seems to have got in trouble for both. And I think that's what we're seeing here. On one hand, we've got emails going back and forth between Epstein about a cute Romanian or, a very clever 26-year-old Russian who he can be arranged to meet up with. And on the other hand, you've got, top-level business taking place between the two of them. At one point, Andrew offers to fix a meeting in Libya for the pair of them. They seem to be trying to orchestrate some sort of business deal together. So it's really kind of the tentacles of Epstein, not just in terms of what he was offering, seemingly to offer Andrew in terms of opportunities to meet women, but also vice versa, any kind of business and financial benefits between the two of them.
Now, you're there with William. Now, it strikes me that William wants to be this cuddly, come-by-yar prince, talk about mental health and all of that. But he's actually got a very difficult foreign role here, because Saudi Arabia is a country with a poor human rights record. It's got it's poor in terms of how it treats women and gay people. It says it's improving all the time, but from an extraordinarily low base. This is not his natural constituency, Saudi Arabia. How is he going to cope, and what's he trying to achieve there?
Well, this has been described to me as the one big ask of Prince William by the British government this year, to come over here and to speak directly to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, who, as you say, is quite a controversial figure in some ways. There's been human rights abuses. Homosexuality is still illegal here in Saudi. Women have now been given, the right to drive, but that's only within the last recent years in 2018. So he's really got an interesting time to be had. I mean, it's a government in which it is top down. The Crown Prince is the de facto leader, and William will be coming out here to address him Crown Prince to Crown Prince, to build up that relationship so that kind of perhaps more difficult conversations can be had behind the scenes in private, which is how this country like to do it. And I'm told that they do allow kind of private, conflict. You can have robust conversations behind the scenes, but certainly any dissent in public is stamped out.
Yeah, we're going to see what happens. We'll hopefully speak to you again as the trip progresses, Kate. Great to speak to you.
Great.
That's Kate Mansey there, the Times Royal Editor. I'm so struck, Kate. It's one of my many frustrations with life is that if you ask any British politician about the royal family, they say, we can't talk about it. There's a convention, we can't talk about it. And yet the biggest ask of the British government as Prince William is to go off and do some politics for us. Yeah. It is definitely having its cake and eat it. If they're political, they should have opinions on them. And if they're not political, then they shouldn't be asked by the government to go and do things. It can't be both of those things, it strikes me.